America is deeply divided. There are only two sides to every issue, and there is no interest in finding common ground, not even with members of your own family. But as the 2024 presidential election looms on the horizon, there has never been a more important time to have the necessary conversation.
Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. I'm Chad Kultgen. With me, as always, is my sister, Haley Pope, and my parents, Bob and Mary Lou Kultgen. My sister and I are left-leaning liberals. My mom and dad are QAnon MAGA Republicans. And every week, we talk about the four biggest issues in politics and the world and try to settle our differences. And it never works, but we keep coming back week after week.
You're cutting out
I'm cutting out, my mom said.
a little bit. Now you came back.
All right, we'll have to bear with it. Hopefully technical difficulties will not scuttle this episode. But I want to open by saying on January 29th, Dad, you said nuclear weapons would be used in Ukraine within 30 to 40 days. We're 169 days past that prediction. No nuclear weapons have been used. Has your prediction failed?
No.
All right. I made a prediction on June 18th of the same year that no military action or civilian action would ever be taken against you, Dad. So far, that prediction's holding up. Now, Dad, I've heard you want to open the show today with a rant.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. We've been, as a country, pissing and moaning back and forth on, what do you call it? Affirmative action. Well, here's a stat for you. Legitimate fact. Between Asians and whites, more than 50% of the graduates from Harvard came from that group. The bottom 25%, which has been under affirmative action for 30 years, is the bottom 25%. So if we'd have had merit instead of affirmative action, we'd have smarter people in positions. So the bottom line is this: white supremacy is not an ideology. It is not a realization that it's actually happened. The fact is, affirmative action has been one of the biggest blunders in American history. And what we have now done is we have dumbed down the people coming out of our colleges because the Black population can't keep up. So what we're trying to do is drag it down to their level. So the bottom line is there is no white supremacy ideology. White supremacy is a fact.
Okay.
And Blacks have done worse under affirmative action than they did without it. And they have dumbed down our entire society because of 30 years of this bullshit.
Okay.
Here's what I'm gonna tell you.
Please.
Until this world gets a grasp of the fact that you might have 3 or 4% of the people who pull themselves out of it, and it's the one who has turned themselves into being able to speak white.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm telling you right now,
that was one more thing.
This damn thing ain't over, and I'm telling you, shit's coming home to roost now.
Okay. All right.
And MAGA's gonna grow by a mile, and this is gonna get uglier and uglier and uglier.
Okay.
Okay, I got one question on this. Let's say anything you're saying is accurate.
Well, it is accurate. It's a fucking fact.
Okay.
All right. How?
It isn't. I'm not making these stats up. It's a damn fact, dude.
All right. I mean, I'd ask you for your sources, dude, but I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
Quit yelling.
Well, I don't know about that, dude.
Oh, actually, the source is Harvard University.
Okay.
Oh,
dude.
I don't know about that, dude. So.
Oh, I do, dude. I do, dude. I just saw it.
My question is.
Dude.
He's
back.
How has any of this affected your life?
Yes.
How?
Because now I got dumber lawyers, I got dumber doctors, I got dumber everything.
Who's your lawyer?
It doesn't matter. The world,
do you have a lawyer?
Yes, we do.
The world in
general.
It's
a woman.
The world in general, Chad.
Congrats. Yeah.
The world in general is dumber. And the
because
one I live
what?
in because of affirmative action.
Okay. Well, it's over now,
It's
so you
dumber.
can rest
It's
easy.
dumber because we allowed unqualified black people to take positions they didn't fucking deserve.
All right.
Moving
Now we're
on.
going to move on. Thank you for your rant. I firmly disagree with everything you've said. Now,
And nobody gives a shit.
Okay.
okay. Now we're going to move on to a question from a listener. Every week, people have been very good about sending in these questions. If you would like to send in a question for this show to have us all answered or debated or whatever the case may be, you're just going to send a question in an audio format, 1 minute or less. You can record it on your phone, however you like to record your audio. Send me a 1 minute or shorter clip to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com, and we play some of the best questions here. Here is our question this week. Are you ready?
Bob.
Kitty's ready.
Is Dad there? The camera, okay. You're both there. So again,
always
Mom,
for
you're in
me.
charge of the camera on your iPad. You got to point it at yourselves. We need to see the faces. Here we go.
Hello, Kultgen family. Listening to Bob and Mary Lou bend over backwards, deflecting and defending Donald Trump bragging about sexually assaulting women and sexualizing and demeaning his own daughter has reminded me of an interesting paradox that I don't feel is discussed often enough. Hillary Clinton said on her campaign trail that there is a certain number of Republican voters that are unreachable, and she puts them in a little basket on their own, a basket of deplorables. This caused quite a bit of outrage on the right. But Donald Trump said that he could shoot someone in the middle of Madison Avenue and wouldn't lose a single supporter. How are these statements different? How were Bob and Mary Lou not proving Hillary Clinton exactly right? How is supporting a serial sexual abuser not morally bankrupt and, dare I say, deplorable?
You want me to go on that?
Whoever wants to.
Okay, first of all, Donald Trump's never been convicted of anything sexual.
Uh-huh.
That's all misnomer.
Well, that's
The
not
other
true.
thing-
In that
Well,
civil
it is
case, he
true.
was convicted.
No, it is true. It is true. He's never been convicted of sexual assault.
Not criminally, but in that civil
You're full of
case
shit.
with
Okay,
E. Jean
go
Carroll, he was.
You're full of shit.
Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here's the other thing. Hillary Clinton
Has killed people.
has killed people.
Benghazi. Hello.
She
I would-
hasn't got prosecuted for a jack shit.
I would rather.
Donald Trump
Hello.
has killed nobody. He just said he could do it and nobody would turn against him. And you know what? She's fucking right.
Mhm.
Because now we are going to turn on people.
So you would support an open murderer?
If we have
Right.
to take down
So the-
a bunch of Democrats
If-
to get elected,
Okay, so
I'm
the
all-
question
I'm
was,
all for it. I'm all for it.
If
The
we have
question-
to take sides, I would rather support him than a lying bitch like her who kills people and leaves people behind.
And what about all her? Where was all her shit when her husband was groping and roping?
Yeah. Blowjob.
roping and roping.
Yeah,
Look,
she was.
If you're
Blowjob.
just worried about killing people, Trump.
She was taking his side for everything. Mayor, are you fucking stupid?
Okay.
The Clintons have murdered more people than any serial
Okay.
killer on planet
Okay.
Earth.
Enough. Moving on.
let's stick to the question. The question was,
Look at Haley's face.
How do I
Hillary Clinton-
reconcile it?
yeah,
I don't have to reconcile it. First of all, Hillary Clinton has killed people.
Okay.
Donald Trump has not. So blow it out your ass.
Donald Trump has killed plenty of people.
No, he
Did he or did he
Okay.
not, in quotes, wipe out ISIS?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
So how many of those people did he kill?
Those
Don't
are
give a-
bad.
don't
Those are
give a
bad
shit.
people that would have
Oh.
killed you and me.
So if you kill the right people, they would have
That's
killed you
correct.
and me. How the fuck
That's
is ISIS
correct.
going to kill anyone
As
on
long,
this Zoom
as
call?
long as you're killing people who want to turn this country into a communist state,
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing. I don't give a
Okay.
shit how many you murder.
All right.
It's irrelevant.
Okay. Well, no answer to the question, but we did hear the question. Thank you very much for sending it in. And again, if anybody else wants to send in that question,
She's
1
a
minute or
liberal.
shorter.
Okay. Okay.
She's a liberal idiot.
Okay.
All right. 1 minute or shorter audio file. Please send it to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. I go through all those questions. I appreciate sincerely everyone who sends them in. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the meat of our show. We've got a big one. We're going to be talking about that heat wave. We're going to be talking about Trump's possible running mates. We're going to be talking about cocaine in the White House. And we're going to be talking
That they
about...
can't find. That our Secret Service, our genius Secret Service can't find.
Okay.
And we're going to be talking about the Writers
Who
Guild
the
and
fuck
Screen...
believes that?
And we're going to be talking about the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, both on strike simultaneously. Two big labor
And
unions out here
nobody
in Hollywood.
gives a shit.
Okay.
Well, thanks for saying that. I am one of the members of the Writers Guild,
I
currently
know
on
you
strike.
are.
Thank you for not
And
giving a
nobody
shit about
gives-
my life. Let's
nobody
move
gives-
on. The heat
Well,
wave.
you voted for this crap.
Okay.
I did not. I voted against it. Temperatures in Death Valley reached 128 degrees Fahrenheit on Sunday, just 6 degrees under the hottest temperature ever recorded on Earth, which was
Good.
134, also in Death Valley in 1913. Las Vegas hit 116 degrees, just 1 degree cooler than its all-time high of 117. Temperatures in Phoenix hit 114 on Sunday, the 17th consecutive day of 110 degrees or higher. The record is 18 days, set in June 1974. The National Weather Service reported that Phoenix is on track to break that record on Tuesday. These temperatures come amid a blistering stretch of hot weather that has put roughly 1/3 of Americans under some type of heat advisory, watch, or warning. Last month, in parts of the South and Midwest, a heat wave killed more than a dozen people. Local governments in the affected areas have opened cooling centers for people without access to air conditioning to stay cool. The heat forced officials to cancel horse racing at the opening weekend of the California State Fair, as officials urged fairgoers to stay hydrated and seek refuge inside one of the 7 air-conditioned buildings. But this heat wave isn't just in America, it's worldwide, with devastating heat hitting Europe, along with dramatic floods in the U.S. Northeast, India, Japan, and China. For nearly all of July, the world has experienced unprecedented heat. June was also the hottest June on record. Scientists say it is likely that 2023 will go down as the hottest year on record, with measurements going back to the middle of the 19th century. So let me ask you this. Haley, do you believe this is because of global warming, climate change?
I mean, I think we know it is. Yeah, for sure. Iceland also just had another fucking volcano erupt. P.S. Missed that by just like a month.
Yeah, it's not just the temperatures. Extreme weather and strange geothermal events are starting to pop off as well in a higher number. Mom, do you believe this is global warming?
It's weather changing.
Yes, that's correct. But do you
It's
think
not global warming.
No, it's just what do you call it? Like when it shifts and
You go from one cycle to another.
yeah, it's a cycle, weather cycling.
And the reason we're having extreme heat right now is because dust storms coming off of Africa are at record levels.
Okay.
And that's what causes the Atlantic Ocean to warm up. So this hasn't got shit to do with any of that crap. First of all, the United States of America has reduced emissions, and the only 2 countries that are actually increasing emissions, and the problem to the story, is India and China, and they're building coal factories. So you can blow this global warming out your ass blaming it on the United States, because we got nothing to do with it.
I never blamed anyone.
Yeah,
it was interesting that you immediately sought a cause for this, and it isn't people that are not American.
We're going to record temperatures.
But this
By
stuff,
what? 1 fucking degree?
But this stuff
Blow it
about
out your ass.
like New York shutting down the pizza ovens. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Really? That's ridiculous.
Are you now mad because there's no pizza in New York?
No, I think it's funny as
I hate those motherfuckers.
I think it's funny as
You
shit
hate
that
who? The people who
that the
make
guys-
New
pizza?
York. New Yorkers.
I think it's
The
funny.
pizza-
All New Yorkers can go to hell.
I
for
think
mine.
it's funny that the guy was throwing the
Interesting.
pizzas on the was it the lawn of the governor or
No,
the
he's throwing them
mayor?
at the mayor.
At the mayor.
So there you have it. Dad, strangely reversing his opinion on Donald Trump. All New Yorkers can go to hell. He hates New Yorkers. So I guess you won't
He's
be
not a
voting
New
for Trump.
Yorker.
He's a foreigner.
He's from Florida,
me?
buddy.
What?
He's from Florida, buddy.
Okay, that's not
Oh,
accurate.
buddy.
Nice mental gymnastics. But let me ask you this, Mom and Dad. What would have to happen for you to believe that climate change is real?
Nothing in my lifetime.
I just don't because
Okay.
of Dad's job and everything he's told me the last 50 some years. And
I keep better track of weather than Noah does, buddy.
Okay.
and the
And
environment.
they don't know their ass from a hole in the
And
ground. They'll fucking tell you that in 5 minutes.
And another little word, experience through the years. Experience.
Well, then let me ask you this. Why do you think the global scientific community is at a 99% consensus that this is man-made, that this is global warming or climate change, whatever you want to call it, and that it is due largely to our carbon emissions and our effect on the environment with various coal burning industries and things like this? Why do
So
you
they've
think
been-
all these scientists are in consensus?
I think they're full of shit.
I didn't think it was 90.
And they and here's another thing. They know they're full of shit.
I didn't think it was 99%.
And it's not.
I don't
It
think
is.
it's that high.
No, it's not.
We need to research that for next time.
That is not true.
I don't think it's
And
99%.
beyond that, it doesn't really matter, because once they changed NOAA to let the University of Oklahoma change all the models, everything's gone to shit in a handbasket. You got goddamn dumbasses over there trying to back up the media on what's going on with global warming. We haven't even raised our average temperature 1 degree in the last 20 years.
Darn it. If I had my cell phone, I'd
And that
pull
is
up.
a fact, Jack.
One of my
All right.
besties just sent me about that.
It's
that it is
bullshit.
not.
Okay.
It's one of the most renowned researchers in the world said it's not. And I just lost my cell phone, but I'll have that for next time.
Okay. Let's
Oh,
move
yes.
on. Topic number 2 is Trump's possible running mate. On Sunday, Donald Trump appeared on Fox News's Sunday Morning Futures and, among other things, discussed the possibility of his running mate in the 2024 election. Trump said he would consider some of his 2024 GOP primary rivals as potential running mates or cabinet members if he wins back the White House. He singled out biopharmaceutical entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy and Senator Tim Scott for praise, although he did not give any indication how serious he was about either of them. Trump said,
I think Vivek has done a very good job, frankly. I think some others have done a good job. You have
Stop
some
it.
good people on the stage, actually.
Now you're pissing me
I
off.
right,
think
you
you
wanna
have
know
some
who it
very
is or not?
talented people. I've
you
been
wanna know who
impressed
it
by
is or
some of
not?
them. Some of them
Let
I'm
him
very
talk.
friendly with,
Let him go.
actually.
Trump has consistently held a wide lead in
Keep
national
going so
GOP
people can laugh
primary
at
polls,
your ass.
with the Iowa caucuses roughly 6 months away. A morning consult poll released last week showed Trump polling at 56%, 39 points ahead of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis,
Let me know when you want to
who
know
was
his
at
running mate.
17%. Ramaswamy polled
When
at
you're done-
8%,
when you're done
followed by
rambling,
former
I'll
Vice
tell you the
President
running
Mike
mate.
Pence
Okay.
at 7%. My question is, do you think his running mate will be either of these two people mentioned? Haley.
Who did you
I don't know.
mention?
I literally, I feel like he's just got some weird shit in his back pocket, or last minute will just say, hey, I don't even think anything he
It's
says
already
right now
been
is
done.
serious. So
Wait a minute.
I don't
In
know.
your in your impersonation, I couldn't really understand. Who were the two people you were trying to say? Who were you saying?
Vivek
Tim
Ramaswamy and Tim Scott. And I can do the impersonation again. He doesn't
No.
say anything in it. I'll just read what he said without the
No,
impersonation. Just listen to this.
We're done.
No,
We're
no.
done. Neither one of them's going to be
Wait a
even
minute.
close.
Dad and I we just happened to watch his 2.5-hour speech as he gave in Florida.
He's already
he
named him,
hinted.
and you missed it.
You missed it, mother. You missed it.
Missed
we
what?
got it.
His announcement.
We
Who's
got
going to
it.
be his VP?
Here
Who
it
is it?
is. Drum roll. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Byron
Donalds.
Who is Byron Donalds? I don't know this guy.
There you go.
Here, let me get him
He's
in
going
there.
to be your next vice president.
There he
Oh
is.
shit. Well, that doesn't line up too well. By the looks of him, by the picture you're showing me, this is a black man.
Yes, he's awesome.
So, Dad, how do
Yeah,
you feel
what?
about this?
Let me get it in there.
You know why?
why can't I line him up again? There he is.
He's going to counteract those fucking dumbasses black vote. And you know what else he is? That guy is a white Trump.
He loves America.
What?
He hates the news.
Trump is
He
a white
hates-
Trump. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
No, you're not listening to what we're saying.
What?
I'm trying.
Trump does not, he realizes you can't put a woman in there if they
Okay.
die because of Kamala Harris.
Oh,
And he needs a black person to do this. This guy is one of the most conservative Republicans on the planet, and he will make Trump look weak.
But now, just please bear with me here. I'm having a hard time understanding. You opened this very show with a rant about white supremacy being a fact,
That's
not
right.
an ideology, and now you're fully supporting a black man as Trump's running mate simply because Trump is going to select him?
Simply because Trump's going to select him, and simply because Trump's not going to die in office.
So Trump, then, anything Trump does, even if it goes against your personal ideology, which in this case is white supremacy, you're okay with it. Trump can get you to overturn your own beliefs.
White supremacy rules when that's the president.
But he has a black man. You believe this black man will be his running mate.
Yes.
You're fine with that? Even after a 5-minute long tirade about white supremacy?
Ass. He ain't going to do
this
shit.
This is a prediction.
This is my prediction.
Brian Donalds is an American.
Write it down.
Is an American politician. He is a financial professional serving as a U.S. representative for Florida's 19th congressional district since 2021. He has all of the same ideals, I can't say that word, as Trump. He believes in everything Trump does. He more or less named him in his speech. That's who he wants as his running mate.
Okay. And again, you guys have no problem with it. That's the thing that is hard for me to reconcile here. You literally...
He's married, has 3 children.
Because you don't understand what we're saying.
He was educated in Florida.
You just said you do.
No, when you're talking about white supremacy, when you're essentially saying that you are both racist.
Hey, who he picks as vice president has nothing to fucking do with race.
Oh, listen to this. Before politics, worked in finance, insurance, and banking industries.
Great.
We need some of that.
You just said it did have to do with race, that this will get the black vote.
Yeah, for Trump.
Yes, so it does have to do with race.
To ensure white supremacy.
Okay.
So
I mean, I just don't even understand how to begin trying to break this down.
I'm so far over your head, you can't understand.
Oh. Okay, well, then I guess we'll leave it at that. Haley, who do you think his running mate's going to be? Do you think it'll be either of these two guys that he mentioned, Tim Scott,
Donalds,
Brian Donalds? Yeah, do you think mom and dad are right? It's going to be Byron Donalds.
I have never heard of any of these 3 people at all.
Tim Scott.
2 of them are running for president.
Who's Tim
Scott?
Yeah.
Tim Scott?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Haley,
he's running for president.
If it turns out to be the person that we said and we think it will be, do I get salted chocolate chip caramel cookies for the rest of my life for free?
What?
What?
You gonna give me cookies?
I'm not making any deals. You gotta pay for that shit.
I just want to revisit this for a second because I don't feel I've gotten any kind of decent answer, and I know that that's something that happens all the time on the show, but on this one specific instance, simply because, Dad, you've made a real point of talking about white supremacy over the past couple of episodes.
That's right.
And so now,
and what's going to happen? You're going to have a white president for 4 years, and then we start over
with a black VP that believes in the same things. I don't give a crap if he's pink, purple, blue, green, whatever.
I don't want Kamala. I laugh at everything. Fucking Harris running the show.
But Chad's trying to get at us with the black and white thing. You know what?
But you care if black people get into Harvard.
Only the bottom half. The bottom quarter of graduates from Harvard University over the last 30 years is the lowest 25% that come out of that school. And they have degrees in dog shit.
And you're saying those people are all black?
They're all black. That is the number, motherfucker, from Harvard.
All right.
Now they got a black now they got a black fucking president.
Where did this guy get his degree from?
Who?
Florida.
The supposed running mate. And what is it?
Florida State, 1999 to 2002. Florida A&M University, 1996 to 1999.
So
previous office.
Where does Harvard, even Harvard's bottom 25%, where does that rank against Florida and Florida State's top 10%?
Oh, I'll guarantee it's way lower.
Okay, interesting.
You need to do your research on your fucking numbers on affirmative action. It's horrifying.
I just don't share your views on any of this.
I don't care. It's irrelevant what you share. We're gonna take 4 years of white supremacy, and then we start over. That's all you got to know, dumbass.
What do you mean start over?
Don't call Chad
Then we
dumbass.
start over with a whole new cabinet.
Oh,
It just makes
politically.
no sense.
Yes.
This
No.
guy is black.
Yeah.
It
He
makes
has
no
a
sense
He has
that
a
you're
proven.
supportive of a black vice president.
You know why?
why?
You know why it doesn't make any sense to you? Because you guys don't have any fucking sense.
Oh, dear
No,
God.
I mean, it's just another example of how you're blinded by Trump. Anything Trump
That's right.
does is
That's right.
great and
Ding
good.
dong. Welcome to the fucking party, you stupid asshole. Jesus.
Quit calling them names. I can't take that.
Well, they're
Ding
so
dong.
damn dumb.
Okay. He,
Well, we certainly didn't graduate from any percentage, top 25, bottom 25 of Harvard. That is true. What were you going to say, Mom? Sorry.
oh God, I don't even know. He believes in some of the same things that Dad and I do in Trump, pro-life. He hates sanctuary cities. He fought against that.
What if he wants to reinstate affirmative action?
He is a
He already voted against it.
He loves liberty. He fights for taxpayers.
He already voted against
He was
it.
raised by a single mom. He knows how hard that is. He wants to achieve the American dream like all of us and make our country great again.
Wait,
Working for
you were
it.
saying he voted against it. Is this guy in politics?
Yes.
He's a representative in
He's a
Florida of the
fucking-
19th
Oh, okay. I
district.
got it.
God damn, you don't pay attention for shit.
I don't pay attention. You literally fucking talk over anytime I'm trying to say anything.
That's because what you're saying is horse shit.
Okay. Well, I rest my case, Your Honor. All right, let's move on. We've gotten pretty heated up. Let's get to that
Woo.
simmer down.
God damn.
This weekend, we saw the end of Wimbledon. And this year, the reigning champ, the guy who's been the best tennis player in the world for a long time, Novak Djokovic,
Yeah.
got beat by this 20-year-old kid, Carlos Alcaraz. Mom, you were a college tennis player. You had
Yes.
the potential to become pro until you became laden
Pregnant.
with me growing in your belly. My apologies for derailing your professional sports career. But
No.
you know a lot about tennis. What do you think of this?
There's always younger ones that are to come and take the old ones down. It happens. Chris Evert taken down, Martina Navratilova, all the good ones, all the old ones like that will be taken down by young ones. Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Williams sisters?
What do I think? What
they
do I
have
think
reti-
about?
They were good, but they were
They were men
they re-
playing girls.
they retired, then they came back. I think one of them's going to try to make a big comeback now. Go for it. You'll be taken down by the young ones.
Well, let me ask
The
you
young
this.
ones.
Is Serena Williams the greatest tennis player of all time? Yes or no?
No,
No.
I like Chris Evert. Even
Who's
though
better?
I
You
don't
want
know
to
if
talk about
Serena has-
numbers? You want to get into the numbers on that one, Dad?
Yeah, I'm
Serena
gonna
Williams
say-
is the
the man
greatest
playing
tennis
girls.
player of all time.
According to you.
Not just woman, but like tennis player of all time.
not
No.
during the time that I grew up and played. My old favorite ones are Chris, Martina, Gulagong, those women, because
But
that's
we're
the era I
talking
grew
about
up in.
stats.
What?
Statistically. But like
I'm talking about the
statistically.
Here you go.
past. I live in the past.
Serena Williams, American former professional tennis player, widely regarded as one of the greatest tennis players of all time, was ranked world #1 in singles by the Women's Tennis Association for 319 weeks, including a joint record 186 consecutive weeks, and finished as the year-in #1 5 times. She won 23 Grand Slam women's single titles, the most in the Open era, and the second most of all time. She is the only player to accomplish a career Golden Slam in both singles and doubles.
Happy for her, and she probably took the most steroids of anybody in
Yeah.
the lifetime of women's sports too.
What evidence do you have of that?
Couldn't
Just the
pra-
way she
couldn't
looks,
pass the
her
drug test.
body, the way she
Okay.
looks.
And do you think the reason that you don't like her has anything to do with her being black?
Absolutely does.
I'm not saying I
Okay.
didn't like her. I'm not saying I didn't like her. I like Chris Evert better. Sorry. I can make that choice.
But I'm not talking about personal opinion. I'm talking about who's the greatest tennis player to have ever lived.
Chris Evert, Lloyd.
But Serena Williams' numbers blow her out of the water.
Chris Evert.
Dad, you're a big sports guy. What do you think of this?
I already told him.
I'm talking about
What?
Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz, not Serena Williams.
About the young guys taking them over. They all
Oh, there's going to be turnover all the time.
So do you think Djokovic is done, Mom?
no.
Or will he
no.
just be the gatekeeper now for Alcaraz?
I know. I don't think he's done. He's
He
going to
really
come back.
can?
He'll come back to say, I can do it one more time. But the younger muscles, the younger stamina, they'll take the old ones down every time it happens.
All right. Well, we simmered down a little bit now. Let's heat things back up with a little bit of that cocaine. Cocaine was
Oh, that's
found.
the secret that our bonded Secret Service couldn't
In the White
find in a
House.
month.
Let him talk.
No, they found it immediately. That's the whole point of this.
Okay.
Couldn't
Let
find
him talk.
anything else.
Let him talk.
The Secret Service on Thursday announced it has closed its investigation into who left a small packet of cocaine in the White House without finding the culprit. And a spokesman for the agency told NBC News it did so without conducting interviews. The cocaine was discovered earlier this month in a storage area of the West Wing where visitors taking tours have to leave their mobile phones. President Joe Biden and his family were at Camp David in Maryland at the time. Okay. The Secret Service, along with the FBI, tested the packet to determine it was indeed cocaine and looked for any fingerprints or DNA evidence. But the tests yielded no usable forensic evidence. Video footage of the area where the baggie was found also provided no evidence to narrow the possible suspects beyond a list of roughly 500 staff members and visitors who passed through during a weekend earlier this month. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said the agency determined that interviewing all 500 people could be a strain on resources, might infringe upon civil liberties, and would likely be fruitless without corresponding physical evidence tying any person to the drugs. Guglielmi said the small amount of cocaine, 208 milligrams or about 0.007 ounces, would only result in a misdemeanor charge in the District of Columbia, and the agency determined that did not warrant the expenditure of resources it would take to interview 500 people. The incident drew much public attention in recent days, including criticism from Republicans who accused the Biden administration of not doing enough to find the culprit. Former President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social on Thursday,
Despite all of the cameras pointed directly at the scene of the crime and the greatest forensics anywhere in the world, they just can't figure it out. They know
You
the
need to
answer.
practice.
So does everyone else.
You need to practice. That's
I have
really
been.
bad.
Whose cocaine was this, Haley?
Well, who cares? I don't know.
Mom, whose cocaine was this?
We all know whose that was.
Whose was it?
Hunter Biden's.
Dad, whose cocaine was this?
Why y'all laughing?
He wasn't even fucking there. The whole Biden family was not there.
Exactly. He was there the day before they fucking left.
And
Jesus
in the same
Christ.
place where this is where like visitors come in and have to
No,
drop
it
their
is
cell.
not. No, it is
That's
not.
a lie.
That's a lie. This isn't you need to get on YouTube and listen to people that have worked in the White House.
Okay.
People that know this.
Okay.
Here's the deal. The FBI and the Secret Service, number one, they didn't do their jobs, or,
Covered it up.
or they covered it up, or it was someone within the family that didn't have to be searched that brought it in.
Mhm.
Those are the only two.
Let me
only
ask you this.
two.
Let me ask you this. Let's say the Secret Service is like in the bag. They're going to
They
cover it
are.
up. Let's say it's Joe Biden's cocaine. And the Secret Service is like, we're going to cover this up for Joe Biden. Why would it ever have been reported to be found? Why wouldn't they have just taken it, gotten rid of it, given it back to Joe Biden, and told no one?
Because there's probably someone that is going to be a whistleblower that's already been paid off and has to keep their mouth
paid
shut.
off. They blew the
Yeah.
fucking whistle. It became a giant news story.
Yeah, but somebody really knows who that belongs to. Where's the key? There was a key that was
Uh-huh.
never found. Now, here's the funny part. Our FBI and the Secret Service, they can do like face recognitions on people like a
Yeah.
mile away in a crowd. They can do this, they can do that, but they can't go back on a security camera to see
next
who,
to the situation room.
next to that room to see who came in and out, grab those people and say, hey, come here. Let's
That's
see.
500 people.
So what?
So what?
How many millions of dollars do you think it would take to get all those fucking people, find them, bring them in, question them,
Does
do a
it
fucking
matter?
investigation into something that would
How
amount to
many
a
billions
misdemeanor?
of dollars have we already flushed down the fucking toilet on no deals?
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think it's more important to investigate Trump's sexual harassment, sexual assault
Oh, now he's
allegations,
doing-
or
now he's doing-
500 people for
500
0.007 ounces of cocaine.
500 people.
Now who's doing what ifs? And why hasn't
I'm trying to
our-
use your own strategy against
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Now who and where's Biden in all this?
First of all,
Hasn't said a
how in the
single
fuck can you
word.
believe a word the FBI tells you?
Biden hasn't said a single word
How
about
can you
it.
fucking believe that?
Hilarious. It's Hunter Biden's bucket.
It's Hunter Biden's bucket. But you're just
It is.
it's only because he has had entanglements with drugs in the past.
Have you gone back on some of these clips? It was I don't know if it's 2 days prior. I'm not sure when the clip was. He's up there with Joe Biden and the mom, and he's like, oh, he's high as a fucking kite. It's his
cares?
drugs.
Okay,
They're
let me ask you
covering
this.
it up. Our government sucks, and we need to get rid of all of those guys at the top.
I
Get rid
agree
of
with
them.
that. I agree with that. Government does suck. Got to get rid of all of them, including Donald Trump and everybody in the Republican Party.
No, he's
No.
going to
Now,
make
let me ask
America
you this.
great again.
Let me ask you this. Why do you care about cocaine? Do you believe that that specifically is something very bad?
I believe they're letting him get away with everything.
I
He needs to
believe-
just bring in the hookers, bring in the drugs, do it in front of all of us, and we'll say, oh,
I
but he didn't
believe
do it.
when you're 10 feet from the situation room and there's hallucinatory drugs that
Drugs.
are sitting there
What?
and nobody seems to
It's
know where they
cocaine.
came from.
Cocaine,
Yeah, I don't give a shit what it is. It's bad.
class one.
That doesn't make you hallucinate.
No,
Okay.
but you got a drug right next to the situation room.
So what?
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's okay with you.
That's the drug you want next to the situation room, in my
oh, it
opinion.
is?
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would assume that you would want that too. Don't you want
You're
people in the
kinda-
situation room to be fucking amped up, ready to go?
Oh, stop it. Oh.
It'll
It-
never be ready to go with that fucking moron in the White House.
No
Yeah,
matter
let
how
him
much
just-
cocaine
hey,
he does. If
hey.
he does enough cocaine.
I wouldn't doubt if they were both doing it. The way he sniffs little kids. Do you see that
Yeah,
last
how'd
clip?
you like that?
Jesus
How'd you like
Christ.
him chewing on that kid in France?
It's terrible.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think he's a pedophile.
You know
But
what?
What
Yes,
does that have
and
to do
he
with
has that-
cocaine? What does
he
him
is a
sniffing on kids have to do with cocaine?
He is a pedophile, and he has lost 85,000 children that are beautiful kids with beautiful souls.
That he's
We don't
selling,
need- he's
that
selling
he's selling
into
in slave
sex
trafficking.
rings.
Have you
Trump.
guys been watching that movie? Did you watch that movie?
Yeah,
What
that
movie?
outpaced
No,
Indiana
the new one.
Jones.
The
The new
Jim
one.
the Jim Caviezel. Did you watch
Oh,
that? Is that why you're
no.
outraged right now?
No,
What
there's a
movie?
new movie
Sound
out.
of Freedom. How do you not know about
Yeah.
this? It has like weird QAnon
Yes.
shit
know
in
about
it.
that.
It's
Yeah.
Jim
Please text me this
Caviezel.
movie. Please text me the
It's
movie.
playing. Okay, it's a true story for starters. It's
Yeah.
playing right down the road from us. When your father gets stronger, we are going to go to that movie, and it's funny
It's
that
already more popular than Indiana Jones.
money wise, it's grossed
It's
that much
That's
money,
right.
blowing it away.
and none of the
That's
news
wrong.
network.
What's
none
the
of
name of
No,
this
it's
movie?
not.
What's the name of the movie?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound.
Of freedom, and
14 million versus 11 for Indiana Jones.
no one
Sound
will
of Freedom
pick it
box
up.
office.
No one will pick it up on the general channels on the news. They won't bring it up because
It's
you don't
full
even
of
know about-
QAnon propaganda.
Crowd-funded film based on
It's a
former
true
government
fucking
agencies' pursuit to
story
rescue child
about-
trafficking. Blah blah blah. It took the number 2 spot at the box office this weekend, earning 27 million from Friday to Sunday. No.
Hello.
Mission Impossible was the number 1 at 56, and U.S. theater.
So look up Indiana Jones. So it's past Indiana Jones, and we're not even talking about it.
It's the Sound of Freedom is now the 18th highest grossing film of this year in terms of U.S. sales, trailing big budget films by major studios like The
But
Flash,
nobody's
Elemental,
watching it.
Fast X.
But nobody's watching it.
It makes my stomach sick to think that we
You
live
need to get on board with how pile of shit
I'll see
you've
this
got
movie.
in the White House.
that we live in a country that won't protect our children. And I truly, you know,
Motherfucker won't protect our children. Trump was putting kids in cages. Do we forget this?
No, he didn't.
Separating
No.
children. Yes, he
He
did.
put kids in Obama's cages.
Okay. but he could have ended that practice. Instead,
all
he
he had.
beefed up ice
all he
and
had
threw
at the
more of them in
time.
the cages.
What about
He had all kinds of shit he had to clean up before he did that.
What about the
Okay.
ones now being brought across the border to put into sex trafficking?
You guys
be-
are gonna wake up with a fucking shovel in the face one of these mornings.
Huh?
I don't know what that meant. Just a minute. I help him get up. Dear God.
What is it?
Okay, where are you going? Where are you going?
Oh man.
Okay, all right.
I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
you're gonna wake up with a 2x4 right in the fucking face, and you won't know what hit you.
Oh, he's saying that you guys need to get in the real world
Uh-huh.
and
Because you don't live in it.
and realize the stuff that we're telling you is true.
But the stuff that I'm telling you is verifiably true. Donald Trump did beef up ICE during his presidency. He did uphold and maintain
Only
the.
verified by the media who doesn't know their ass from shit.
I saw the fucking pictures of the little kids in the fucking literal cages. We've all read the stories about how families were getting separated and these kids were just getting fucking disappeared.
Did you see that?
No one can hear him when he's screaming from the other room.
Did you see the picture in France of Joe Biden sniffing on the little girl and chewing on her, and her face was like, "Ah," and the mother
the
was
old
like,
one,
"Oh my
right?
God!" No, just within 4 days ago.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was
know there
in
was a new one.
France.
Let me look at this
He was
up.
in France. He literally sniffed her hair, her ears. I was like, "Oh my God!" My stomach was getting so sick. I think he's the head of the pedophile ring in the United States.
Wait a minute.
And those 85,000 children, he's making money off of them. No one knows where they are. He does.
This is a
He's
fake
selling
video.
them. I really think he's selling them to people.
Is
This
it
is a-
AI?
Yeah, it's a
No,
fake
it's
video.
No, it is not.
Yeah, it is.
Where he's sniffing on the kid?
Yep. A
No, it is
video of President Joe Biden with a mother and her infant is spreading on social media with claims that Biden leaned in and sniffed the child. In the 13-second clip, Biden appeared to be talking to the child who remained off screen. But the video is altered. Not only is it zoomed in to omit context, but the child Biden is interacting with, it was cut short and sniffing sounds were added.
Okay. Where are you reading that from?
PolitiFact.
Yeah. So
It's a website dedicated to literally saying what is true and not true.
that is saying that's all made up. It was AI. That it was
No,
not.
I
a
didn't say
true-
AI. I said they cropped the video so that you can't tell what's actually going on in it, and they added in sniffing noises.
Of
When
course.
when I saw the video,
He
I
didn't
saw
do sniffing noises. He was making chewing
chewing noises, grunting. When I saw the video, it was his full body
Yeah.
going over to the little kid.
And then he tried to kiss her.
They tried to kiss her.
All right, well, send me the video. I'm not aware of
I
this
will.
video. Look, I'm on your side. I've seen all the Biden
you're
sniffing
not.
kids' heads. I don't
No,
like
you're
Biden.
not.
I do
That's
think he's
it.
got some very creepy shit going on with kids. I think he is potentially a pedophile. I agree with you on across the board on that shit. Whether this video is real or not, I've seen enough of Joe Biden sniffing a bunch of kids' heads to know that something ain't right in that motherfucker's mind. Period.
Uh-huh.
I do think he's a bad guy. I think he's
And
a
he
piece
just
of shit.
called. Who did he call the wrong name? He called Putin.
Oh, he called
Yeah, who
Zelensky.
cares about that? He's just old and senile, same as Trump.
Oh my
Cove
God.
No,
Fifi.
he's not. Trump's not senile.
Trump is not.
Cove Fifi.
What?
Exactly. Remember when he fucking tweeted Cove Fifi?
No.
And people were like, what in the hell is he talking about? And he didn't even know. He had to make up some fucking weird shit about it.
No.
All right. Well, look, Google fucking Cove Fifi. Here, I'll give you
Okay.
a little
Fox
backstory.
News on the 5. Biden nibbles on a frightened young girl. On the 5. It's on YouTube. They're not going to put fake shit on YouTube.
Fox.
What?
What? YouTube is like,
Oh,
all
wait,
fake
wait.
shit.
It's on CNN. Are they going to put fake shit on CNN?
Send me the fucking link. I'll look at it.
Huh?
Send me the link and I'll look at it. All right. Let's get back
Okay.
on track here. I don't know where the fuck Dad went, but we got one more
He's
topic
right
to
here.
talk about.
Had to go.
Bongino says Secret Service absolutely knows who left coke in the West Wing.
Bongino says the Secret Service absolutely knows who left the coke in the White House,
Oh.
and they won't talk.
Well, if
And
Bongino says it, then it must be true. Let's
You
move
got that.
on to our fourth and final topic. This one affects me personally, and maybe Dad will have a different opinion on this because it is his son who is directly affected by this. We are talking about the Writers Guild and the Screen Actors Guild, both on strike. This past week, the Screen Actors Guild became the second of the 3 major Hollywood creative labor unions to have gone on strike, joining the Writers Guild of America, which is almost 2 months into its own strike against the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, or AMPTP. SAG, the WGA, and the Directors Guild, which accepted a new deal from the AMPTP last month, all engage in years-long deals with this organization that represents the studios, networks, and streaming services designed to protect the creative laborers, guaranteeing minimum compensation standards, healthcare, and fair treatment from the billion-dollar corporations that own all of the media companies who employ the writers, directors, and actors.
When's that gonna happen?
Among concerns brought to the AMPTP by the guild, by these various guilds, is the eminent use of AI to replace the creative labor that has traditionally been done by humans. The AMPTP strategy has been revealed as a long game designed to push writers to the financial brink, so they're forced to accept whatever the studios put on the table. In preparation for the strike, studios, networks, and streamers have stockpiled scripts and have begun reprogramming efforts focused on foreign media that does not adhere to any of the American guilds and reality-based programs. The actors and the Screen Actors Guild might have a little more leverage, as their strike means all production in the United States has been immediately brought to a halt, which is costing the studios millions of dollars a day. My question is, Dad, is he there?
Yes. I can't pan over there because I can't. He's here.
We can't
He
hear
just
him
said-
though if he's not next to you.
I'll say what he says. He had to go sit
No,
in the other
let's just
chair.
say, Mom, do you care about this at all?
Yeah, I think it's sad that they had to go on strike. It halts all production. There's a lot of people not making money that they need. There was a film here in Oklahoma. They were filming The Twister 2 had to be shut down. It's sad. People need the money. They want to work. But I swear, I thought way back when, Chad, this happened to you a long time ago.
Yeah,
With the,
2007, I think.
right. And I remember it, but then they worked it out and everybody comes back.
Yeah, I mean,
This
but they
won't
didn't really
stay
work
forever.
it out.
This
Well, I don't know. This one seems a little bit different because their AI is on the table in a way that it never has been. Obviously, it's a brand new technology.
The rich actors will break.
Dad said the rich actors will break. They will get it.
This isn't
working
about the
out.
rich actors. This is about it's not about the rich writers either. It's about people like me who are like making a living as a writer, but I'm not fucking rich.
Right.
I'm just like working like everybody else. And same thing for actors. Yes, there's fucking Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt and people who make hundreds of millions of dollars on projects, but under that, mostly the Screen Actors Guild is made up of people who are like job to job. They got to be out there hustling, working from, a little bit part in this or working in an indie movie just to make enough money to pay rent. And these, the studios, the networks, the streamers, their new model is pay all of these people less and less and less and less and less, and now even replace them with AI. That's essentially what they are attempting to do. And the AMPTP, which is basically the organization that represents all the studios, networks, and streamers, they have had this long game. They've had this planned for years, knowing that this contract was going to come to an end this summer. And their goal is literally, one executive said, to get it to a point where writers can't pay their mortgages, then they'll have to accept whatever we give them.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Dad, do you care about this at all? Sorry,
did you foresee this? Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Because
like AI also, coming in and
yes, of course.
Yeah.
I also think that it's whatever. I have my own feelings about the guild and how I've been treated by the Writers Guild, which is not great. I don't think they have writers' best interest in mind at all. I think they are very antiquated, and they see Hollywood as it used to be in the 80s and 90s, because that's the people who are running the Writers Guild. That was their heyday. That was when they were in TV writers' rooms, and it was like 15 people in a writer's room, and I work on Cheers. That shit's gone. That's been gone for a minute, and it ain't ever coming back. But they're trying to get things in this deal to be like, we a guaranteed minimum writers in a TV writer's room. And it's like, what? That isn't what TV is anymore. especially
Yeah.
like cable TV or what used to be cable TV, but like premium TV, like shows like The Bear or Mike White's White Lotus. These are auteur pieces. It's like one person writes all of those, and maybe they have 2 or 3 other people that they collaborate with to kind of do the grunt work of the scripts, but it's really like the creative vision of one person. So why do you need 15 people in a writer's room? The old multicam sitcom days are just fucking gone. And all of the guilds are basically trying to force the studios to say they will never use AI in any way, which is absolutely fucking stupid. We're all going to be using it. It's a very incredible tool that writers will be using to make their own shit. But there was one thing that came out this week. An executive basically had slipped and said that like one of the studio's practices is going to be for background actors. These are like extras basically that are just walking around in the background.
I saw this. Yeah.
They want to be able to scan an extra's likeness and pay them once for it
One day.
and
Yeah.
then use that in any movie they want. And everybody's kind of outraged about
Ooh.
this, saying like, oh, how could you fucking do this? But the bottom line is technology changes shit. You used to
Yeah.
be able to fucking, as a musical artist, make, if you're a big one, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars off selling your CDs, your records, your tapes.
Right.
That's gone. Recorded music makes no money anymore. You can make money off streams if you're one of the biggest ones, but it's all live performance now. So technology is changing this. Same thing for extras. Here's your choice. You can get paid that one time and they can use your shit in whatever they want, or they don't pay you at all and they just make digital people that aren't real.
Do you think
They
this will
don't
make
have,
the
they don't
movie
need
in-
actual people.
this is going to fold the movie industry? I mean, it'll
Fuck
fold
no.
it.
Are you kidding
No?
me? How many of your streaming services have you unsubscribed from?
None.
I rest my case, Your Honor. That's all they give a fuck about.
But not
As long as
not
the subscribers are paying money, they don't care what they put on that screen or how it gets there. They need to, their whole goal is to get production costs to zero, which means if
Mhm.
we can stop paying writers and actors, we will do that. If we can stop paying directors, we will fucking do that.
right. Right.
And as long as you're paying $12 a month to watch whatever they put on your fucking screen, they don't give a shit about
Right.
the people involved.
But like in regard to getting credits for what you write and stuff like that, those days
Gone.
are no longer.
Done.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
remember
think-
when you had
Huh?
to fight for that a long time ago in different things that you wrote.
Yeah.
And I thought that is just lousy. And they take your writing credits away and give them to another person
That's
that
the
had
guild,
nothing
though.
to do
The
with
guild
it.
does that. And the
Uh-huh.
guild is very bad about credit arbitration in terms of the Writers Guild. But I think what you're looking at in terms of AI and Hollywood with writing specifically is all writers will be able to go off and do their own shit, and we will all be using AI tools to help us write. You will be able to make your script, write your script, and then if you want to independently produce it, again, using AI, text to video generation or whatever, you can do that. And that will be outside the studio network system. But the studios, networks, and streamers are all going to now start using AI to generate a first draft of whatever the idea is.
Wow.
Then they're going to hire a human being to rewrite it. So no human will ever get credit or own any of these IPs. You will come
That's
on as a
crazy.
rewriter to an IP that the studio or network generated. I mean, that's just how it's moving. I don't see
So-
that stopping because these
so we-
networks don't give a
We
fuck.
we should keep our Burt Wonderstone. Keep our movie for good forever.
What do you mean?
Burt Wonderstone movie.
Yeah.
The movie you wrote.
Yeah.
The movie that you wrote.
So what do you think's going to happen to you?
What do you think's going to happen to you, Chad? Dad asked.
Oh, I'm highly excited by it all. I would love for the collapse of the traditional model to happen because I think what will wind up happening is the studios and networks are going to be able to make shit like all the Star Wars movies, the Marvel movies, Fast and Furious, the big IP that they have that have like terrible fucking stories already, and nobody's going to watch these movies for the story. They're just like, show me a giant fucking computer generated monster running around and blowing shit up. All of that will be made by studios and networks, and we'll still love those things and go to see them in the movie theaters. But if you want like kind of more interesting, introspective, kind of personal pieces of art, that's going to be done completely independently.
You make more money or less?
So you'll make more money or less? Dad asked.
That I don't know. I mean, I think there will be cases where people in the independent space make fuckloads of money and kind of launch their own little mini universes or whatever. But the bottom line of it is, I just think like writing for hire, and this will happen to actors too and directors. I think they think that well, you can't replace people. You can't replace actors. You can't replace a director. But it's like, yeah, you fucking can. Wait until text to video gets good enough. Then writers will have most of the power because we don't need actors or directors at that point. It's whatever you can come up with in your head and use AI to make that. It's kind of like what happened in the music industry. It used to be, prior to digital audio workstations being ubiquitous, it used to be that you had to go to a fucking record company and get them to put fucking millions of dollars into the production of a record for you. So you had to convince them, I can sell fucking records. I'm a good musical artist. Now, everybody can make professional quality music on the fucking computer out of the box for $2,000, whatever your MacBook costs you. I think the same is going to be true of movies and TV shows coming up within the next 5 to 10 years.
So we need to keep our iPod rolling. I almost said our iPad rolling.
Sure,
our
your iPod. I don't think they even make
the
iPods
iPad.
anymore, but yeah.
Are you suggesting you're going to make your own movies? Because I'm into that.
No, our podcast. I mean,
Our
Dad
iPods.
calls it the iPad.
I actually think
iPod.
podcasting or, like talk kind of entertainment will be one of the only places virtually unaffected by AI, because I do think people want to hear people talking.
Yeah,
not
you
AIs.
can't AI my ass.
Correct.
I'm the one
Not
and
yet.
only.
But I want to ask Dad. I've talked
Yes.
a lot during this segment, and I didn't mean to, but obviously I'm involved in it. I want to ask Dad, do you care about this at all? Do you think these labor unions should be striking to get what they want?
Well, I care what happens to you.
He cares what happens to
Okay.
you. I care about the people too. I care about you, but I feel bad for the people that need the money, that they're just being locked out. That's bullshit.
The bottom line is it's these giant multi-billion-dollar corporate greed machine corporations
They don't
that
give
are
a
essentially
shit.
just trying to cut every possible corner. And right
Mhm.
now, I mean, writers have never really been respected in Hollywood, but now it's at an all-time low. And they're just continuing to fucking keep the boot on the throat at
Sad.
this point. Yes.
Sad.
Haley, does this reach your world at all? Do you care about this in any way?
I mean, yeah, I love movies. We always talk about movies at the bakery, and it just seems like more and more none of us. I haven't genuinely enjoyed a movie, I don't think, in like maybe 10 fucking years or something.
You didn't see that Spider-Man Across the Universe? That shit was great.
I haven't. The kids really liked it, but they said I should see it.
Yeah.
But I do kind of flock more toward the independent films than I do like the big Marvel shit.
Mhm.
I've been wanting to see this movie Past Lives for fucking 3 or 4 months. I haven't yet, but it's an independent picked up by A24. The human condition, right? So I don't know.
I like
it affects me
movies that are
because I
true.
love cinema. I think that AI in some capacity is going to affect me in my fucking life.
Yeah. It'll
you
affect
know,
all
so
of us. Already is.
I'm just trying to fucking wrap my brain around the fact that I might be jobless in the next 5 years. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. They already have machines that make cakes.
What?
They ice them. They have fucking robots that you can buy. They're like $3,000 and it makes a
Oh.
fucking cake.
That's not AI though. That's just
I
like
sent
mechanical
that
labor.
to you. I sent you that clip. Don't you remember I
Anyway.
sent that to you?
But AI can
I-
make cake designs and
Right.
flavors and recipes. That
Right.
shit's coming.
I mean, that's something that I've always done. So I have come up with a signature look for Hive Bakery, and everyone on the interwebs that fucking follows us in cake world knows that's the Hive cake.
Mhm.
Well, that's not going to exist anymore. I use like a mixed medium approach. Nobody else does it in our cake world. So we kind of set the bar, and now that AI exists and you can literally just fucking feed it shit, it's going to come up with potentially better ideas, better shit than
What-
I ever could, you know?
Okay. You'll always have a job. What about all the old movies that were like true movies? Like they can't AI that shit. Like In
What do you
Cold
mean?
Blood. In Cold
What?
Blood. Like
The fuck you
like
talking?
movies from a long time ago. In Cold Blood, stuff like that. How can they change
What?
those? You
What?
said
They're
they're
not going to change them. But what you will see is stuff like, imagine a sitcom comes out starring a 25-year-old Brad Pitt and 25-year-old Jennifer Aniston as two roommates who, like, will they or won't they? Shit like that is going to start happening very soon, I think. actors licensing themselves to be like, yeah, go make this fucking sitcom. I don't give a shit. What do I get? $1 million an episode and I don't have to show up to do a day of work? Great.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. We're on the precipice of some radical changes, but I wanted to talk to you primarily about the strike. And again, sorry I took up so much of the air in this one, but I'm curious still to know specifically what Dad thinks about labor unions striking at all. I know in the beginning his attitude was like, fuck all these rich actors and writers, but it's like that's the top 1% of all creative people in Hollywood are the ones that are super rich from it. Everybody else is like rank and file, just trying to fucking get through the day.
So what do you think about that?
What, the unions?
Yeah, the unions.
Well, I don't like unions, but I really, I worry for him.
He doesn't like the unions, but he worries for you.
But I don't think the big time actors are going to hang with you.
He doesn't think the big time actors will hang with you. They'll turn your back.
No, they have to. They're members of the guild. Some of them are like fucking high-ranking members of their guilds. Those actors must hang with us by obligation. Okay. If they break guild rules, if they scab, they get kicked out. I mean, no one's ever done that. We'll see. Maybe it will start to happen. I don't know.
There's always a first, mister. There's always
that is true.
First.
But that wraps it up. That's the end of our show. Thank you all for joining us today. We had some doozies of conversations here. We'll see if any of these predictions about Trump's running mate come true and how that may affect my parents' views on white supremacy. If any of you have questions, again, let me remind you, send a 1 minute or under audio clip to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com, and we'll play those questions here. And before we go, as always, Haley, I love you. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you.
Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. Chad, I love you.
I love you, Chad. I love you, Haley. I love you, Bob. It's been a rough week, but we're back up, right and walking. Bob.
Yeah, I love you, Mary. I love you, Chad. I love you, Haley.
Did you hear it?
I did.
A shout out to Jenna's. Get feeling better.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Bye.